Hi everyone, hope you're all well. So recently I've been getting quite a few people asking me the same two questions. First one is how do you get into reading? And the second one is why do you like reading so much? Because people who know me know that I am an avid reader. I've always got a book in my hand or in my bag or anywhere I go, and everywhere I go I've got a book on me and I just read quite a bit. So I kind of want to know how and why I read so much in a way. So I just thought I'd share with you how I think you could get into reading and why I like reading so much personally. And this might be even helpful to you if you're in like a reading slump or you don't like reading, then maybe this might be helpful so you can start reading again and the whole world will be good. So basically, for me, I don't really remember a time where I haven't actually read, which might not be helpful, but I have got advice, so stay with me on this, okay? Basically, since I was a baby, my mum always read to me, constantly, and then I learnt to read at quite an early age, so I've, from about the age of 3 onwards, I've just been reading books myself. So it's always been with me, and I'm not saying that I haven't been in reading slumps because I definitely have had quite a few reading slumps. I'm just saying that there wasn't a particular time where I started reading and started discovering stories. But I do think since joining this community, I really have broadened my horizons when it comes to books and kind of explored things that I haven't really thought about trying out before. So, what I think you should do if you're in a reading slump or you don't like reading is basically read something that you know you're going to like. Like, read something that's on a topic that you're interested in. So, I don't know, think about what you're interested in general, or what TV shows you like, or films, and then kind of read books on that. So, for example, if you really love the film Shaun of the Dead, I don't know, that's just popped into mind. Shaun of the Dead. Then you could read books on zombies. Trust me, there are a million zombie books out there, so you won't be stuck for choice. But I don't know, if you're interested in fairies, then read a book on fairies. But this doesn't even have to be fiction. It can be non-fiction. It can be an autobiography or the history of cars. If you're interested in the history of cars or anything, literally, there are so many books out there, and there are even books on topics which quite surprise me. Like, you will not believe the amount of books there are on chavs. I don't know why exactly, but there are quite a few books on chavs. So, if that interests you, then try a book on chavs. Second thing I'd say is when you're reading, try and find a time where you're not going to be distracted, you're not going to be bothered. Get relaxed, make a nice drink. You can stand and read, sit, lay down. I don't know, do cartwheels while reading, stand on your head, fly. I don't know, do whatever. But whatever makes you feel comfortable when you're reading, do it. So I like reading in bed before I go to sleep because it really helps me relax and helps me sleep. But I don't just read in bed, I read in the car, on the bus, in the park, I don't know, anywhere, in a cafe, I just take a book out of my bag and read. So that's because I love reading so much. So if you're not an avid reader, then start with reading where you're comfortable. And then maybe if you start to like reading more, then you can branch out and read in other places. And if you're in a reading slump, I'd say reread. I mean, this works for me because I really like rereading books. And if you're like that, then I'd say reread a book that you love, reread a book that's your favourite book of all time, and that will get you back into reading other books. And almost, I know it's going to sound weird, but almost force yourself to spend 10 minutes, even 5 minutes, even just pick up a book and read for 5 minutes, and you'll find you'll get back into a book and get back into a story. Because half the time I find with reading slumps, it's not the actual reading that's creating the slump, but it's time issues. So say you're really busy throughout the week, it kind of creates a reading slump because you're not getting into the pattern of reading and you're falling out of it, so it creates a slump. But if it is the book, then that's creating the slump, then change the book. Just leave it. And same, if you don't like a book, then don't force yourself to read it because you're going to start not liking reading again. So just put the book down and try something else. And then, if you like the books that you're reading on the topic that you really enjoy, then you could branch out and try other books. Maybe books on topics that you've never even considered before or that you never thought you'd like. And who knows, maybe you'll like it and it will start a whole new thing for you. So that's basically my advice on how to start liking reading slash how to get out of a reading slump. I mean, I've told a few people this before, and it's definitely worked on my sister. She is now an avid reader. Before I told her like how I like reading, she'd only ever read, I think it's 2 books in her entire life, and she's 22. So, now I've told her what I think. She's nicking all my books, which is kind of a bad thing in a way, but also a good thing because she's reading. But I just wish she'd get her own books. Anyway, so basically why I like reading so much is that I just love the fact that you can get so lost in the story, no matter how out there it is, or crazy, or how close to real life it is. It's just amazing. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of non-fiction. I mean, I do read some non-fiction, like I love Eat, Pray, Love. That book is amazing. And I love Marley and Me. Made me cry. Makes me cry every time. But I'm still drawn more towards fiction. But it's good to try out because if I never tried non-fiction, I would have never found those 2 books. So, like I said, it's always good to try. I just love how you can literally write a book on anything and it will make sense. I mean, look at Harry Potter. Okay, so everyone knows that, Hogwarts doesn't exist. I mean, everyone deep down knows that Hogwarts doesn't exist and that magic like that doesn't exist. And yet, the way authors can make it feel so real. If you're feeling upset or having a bad time or a hard time in any way, you could just pick up a book and use it as kind of a form of escapism, and it just takes you away from the real world for the amount of time that you're reading, and I just find it incredible how a story can do that and affect someone in that way. And also, it's not just the stories, but it's the way they bring people together. I mean, look at fandoms. Fandoms are basically communities of people who would never even probably speak to each other in any other time, but they come together to celebrate this like one story and to talk about it and to cry over it and laugh about it. And I just think that the only other thing I can think of that could compare to it is music. How that brings thousands of people together who have never met before and just gives them something in common. And there's not many things that can actually do that. So I find that really, really fascinating and just amazing. So that was basically my video. And I hope you found those tips useful. Hope you did. Leave me discussion comments in the comment section because I really want to hear your opinion. If you were in a reading slump, how did you get out of it? And also, why do you like reading? If you don't like reading, then why? And I don't know, are you going to start reading? Is this helpful at all? Because really, let me know what you think in the comments. And subscribe as well if you want to, because that's cool. And yeah, I'll see you all next time. Bye!